Excuse you? Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is my 11th, I don't know how many videos I've done. I don't keep track of things, I just do them. I was gonna start off by apologizing again for the fact that I'm making a video that isn't as crafty as I normally like to do my videos, but then I was sort of like, you know, I actually really like making videos like this. I don't really want to apologize so much as just say that it's just going to be inevitable on my channel that some videos are going to be more informational and me sitting here and talking to you, and other videos are going to be more let me make a pair of pants with pockets big enough to put my ferrets into. What are we doing here today, Kenya? You might be asking yourself, as you often do when you click on one of my videos. I'm going to be doing 10 reasons why ferrets make good pets and 10 reasons why ferrets make not so good, aka bad pets. I think that it's really important when you're considering what type of animal you want to bring into your home to be able to weigh both the pros and the cons of that type of animal, because obviously every animal has its pros and its cons. This list is extremely opinion-based, but these are the reasons why I think they make good and bad pets. I have owned my 2 ferrets for about 3 years now, so I have quite a bit of experience with ferrets, and throughout that time I have house sat and lived with other people who have ferrets, so I have experience with quite a few different ferrets and different personality types. Those are my qualifications. Here's your resume, sir. Please hire me. So, the first reason why ferrets make good pets: ferrets are super social and it is amazing. It is great, they are the best. This is actually why it's really important that you get more than one ferret when you're getting a ferret. They're much better in pairs, trios, or quadros? 4 of them. Quadruplets? Quadruples. I think it's quadruples. Get more than one ferret. Ferrets love people and they love their people. They want to be around their owners. Personally, I will walk around my house and if my ferrets are awake, they will always be following me everywhere. When I'm making breakfast in the morning, Nova is normally by my feet, laying between them and licking my ankle because she wants attention. It is super adorable and you just feel so loved because you know that you being there brightens up your ferret's day, just as much as them being there brightens up your day. Number 2, ferrets are super affectionate and it is the best. And what's great about ferrets is that once you sort of understand their body language and you understand what they're trying to tell you, you can really tell that they love you. Ferrets love to give their owners kisses. They love to just like cuddle up with them when they're sleeping. Nova in the morning if she doesn't wake up just by me walking around and opening the cages and stuff, I can put my hand next to her when she's sleeping and just scratch her a little bit and she'll just lick my hand for like, 15 minutes if I let her, and it's just super cute. Reason number 3, ferrets are super playful. They get so entertained by absolutely anything, and it's just because they're so curious. Pretty much everything to your ferret can and will be a toy, which can be a little dangerous. We'll get to that on the negatives list. Another fun thing about them being playful is that a lot of ferrets, they'll pick a favorite type of toy. For instance, Luna really loves blankets. Anything to do with the blanket, she is super excited, and Nova likes sort of plush toys, anything that she can stash away. So really sort of shows their personality. The 4th reason why ferrets make great pets is that they are so cute. Oh my god, I don't feel like I have to explain this to you guys. Anyone who has seen a video of a ferret or a picture of a ferret, you understand how adorable they are.
Hello, Luna. Do you want to come be part of the video? I'm talking about how cute you are.
Yeah, ferrets, I think that they're just little forever kittens. So they always have this like adorable, curious energy to them, and it just makes them so freaking cute. You are so adorable. Sometimes when I'm laying in bed at night, I will think about my ferrets and it just gives me this primal desire to squish a pillow. And it's a little terrifying how much power I get just from how cute you are alone. You're so cute. It's not fair. You have to share that cuteness with the world. I love her so much. What are we on? The 5th reason why I think ferrets make good pets is that they sleep a lot. So this is one thing that, depending on who you are, you might think it's a negative. I personally see it as a positive. Ferrets are crepuscular, which means that they are most active at dawn and dusk. So for that reason, I think that they make really good pets for people who work a 9-to-5 job. I first got my ferrets when I was in university, so it really helped with my university schedule because I'd be awake in the morning, give them breakfast, play with them a little bit, go to class, and then they would just sleep until I got home in the evening. So it really, really worked out for me. Okay, I can see that you want to go down. Okay, goodbye. I love you. Now she's gonna go be noisy in the background. Sorry about that. What are they talking about? So though ferrets are crepuscular, as I said, and they're awake more at dawn and dusk, another great thing about them is that they do actually adjust to their owner's schedules. So even if you don't work a 9-to-5 job, if you have a consistent schedule, your ferret's sleep schedule will begin to align with that. And that's just because, once again, they're social and they want to be around you. So if you're at home, they're gonna want to be with you. But if you're not home, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go to sleep until owner X comes home. Whatevs. The 6th reason I think ferrets make great pets is that they are very smart. Because of this, ferrets can be trained tricks and they will respond to their name. Luna is our ferret that really responds to her name. Anytime I call her, if she's awake, she will come. And even if she's asleep, sometimes she'll wake up and she'll still come. My ferrets don't know any tricks, mostly just because I haven't really sat down and tried to teach them any, though lately I've sort of been thinking, I'm not supposed to leave my house and I don't have a job, so maybe I should start training my ferrets some tricks. So, future video idea? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Maybe so. The 7th reason is that ferrets have very distinctive personalities. Luna and Nova are completely different ferrets. Luna is obsessed with constantly playing. She likes to get into as much trouble as she possibly can, whereas Nova is a lot more chill and her troublemaking is generally just her trying to see what she can escape from. Like that baby gate. She really likes to try and climb it, and sometimes she manages when she tries super hard. We have many fights about that. So because they have distinctive personalities, it's really nice because if you have multiple ferrets, which once again, you should have multiple ferrets, you're gonna have a really unique relationship with each of them just based on how they act. The next reason is simply just that ferrets are super unique pets. Personally, I'm a really big fan of exotic pets. I do love cats and dogs, but exotics have always had a really special place in my heart. So not a lot of people really know about ferrets, which is super exciting because you're always gonna have people be super wowed by the fact that you have a ferret and be like, whoa, I wanna come over and meet your ferret. And then you can be popular for a little bit in your life before you go back to being lonely again. Also, whenever you're doing those weird, uncomfortable games with like your work or your school, when they're like, tell me 2 things about yourself and 1 lie, and you're sort of like, I don't like this game. This game is basically just brag about yourself twice and then say 1 thing you wish you could brag about yourself about. But now you can say you have ferrets and that can be one of your things. Reason number 9 is that ferrets are clean. Now this one is one that I think a lot of people have a big misconception about because there's this idea that ferrets smell bad just because they have a natural musk, but ferrets are actually relatively clean. They are litter trained, which sort of goes back to them being smart. So you can litter train your ferret, whether to use a litter box, even newspapers or a puppy pad. Ferrets spend a lot of time grooming themselves like a cat would, so you don't need to bathe them. In fact, you should not bathe them more than once or twice if absolutely necessary a year. Also, another reason why you need to get more than one is that ferrets will groom each other as both a social activity and just because then they can be clean. A lot of their odor does have to do with what you're feeding them, so if you're feeding them a more high quality food, they're gonna smell better than if you're feeding them a really bad quality food. The whole ferret stink thing really is just a big misconception about ferrets stink if you don't take care of them, in the sense that your dog would stink if you didn't take care of it. And the last reason why I personally think ferrets make good pets is that they are quiet. I will admit this reason isn't as grandiose as the other ones, but I still think that it's valid and it deserves its own spot on my totem pole here. Ferrets do make a few little noises. They will duke when they're excited. Sometimes they hiss if they have a particular toy that they're getting a little possessive over, but for the most part they're quiet. They're not like a dog that's gonna bark. They make good pets for an apartment sort of setting or somewhere where you aren't allowed to have a screaming parrot. It's important to note that they are quiet unless they are knocking things over, because if you give them the opportunity to knock a very loud thing over on a shelf, they will do it and they will no longer be quiet. But that's on you at this point, that's not on them. So we've got all of the good things out of the way first, started with the good, and now we're gonna shift over onto the 10 reasons why I think ferrets make not so good pets. So the first reason why I think ferrets make not super great pets is that they are very high maintenance animals. Now they're high maintenance in the sense of pretty much everything that I'm gonna be saying on this list, but the biggest one is basically that you're forever gonna be a babysitter. Ferrets are notorious for getting into things, and they will constantly be trying to get into things that they shouldn't, like Nova and the baby gate. Good segue to my next one. Reason number 2 that they're not super great pets is that they try to push around your moving boxes when you're making a video, and they have no respect for you. Reason number 2 that ferrets sometimes don't make super great pets is that they can have a lot of medical issues. If any of you guys saw my last video where I talked about insulinoma for about 45 minutes, guess what? There's a lot of other diseases that ferrets can get besides insulinoma. Cancer is one of the biggest things. As I mentioned in my other video, 50 to 70% of ferrets will get cancer in their lifetime. So that is a lot of ferrets getting cancer. I'm not going to go into the reasons behind that. Please watch my previous video because I feel like I brushed on that topic enough. Didn't I, Luna? 45 minutes was a lot of talking. Oh my god. And of course, besides cancer, there are other medical issues that ferrets can have. That's just the big one that you really need to be aware of. This sort of leads us into number 3, which is that they can have a lot of medical emergencies. Once again, as I talked about in my previous video, seizures and insulinoma crash are big issues, but another really big one with ferrets is blockages. This is because of their curiosity and their desire to get into absolutely everything that they can, no matter how bad it is for them looking at you. So ferrets will often eat things that they shouldn't eat, and then it gets stuck in their digestive system because ferrets have very sensitive and small digestive systems, which means that you have to go to the vet and you could possibly need to get surgery or just have to do blockage protocol, which is scary and super not fun. And I have had to do it, and it was a really, really bad time. So I don't recommend doing that. You always need to know where the closest emergency vet is so that if something happens, you can get taken care of.
Because you're a troublemaker. Have I ever told you that besides every day of your life that you're a troublemaker?
And this also leads us into number 4. The 4th reason why ferrets don't make super great pets is that they are very expensive. Ferrets are easily the most expensive animal that I have ever owned, so it's really important that you make sure that you have money saved up for your ferrets, both as an initial investment of when you're buying your ferrets and all their supplies, and to make sure you have extra money just in case they do have a medical emergency. I will actually be willing to bet that every single ferret owner at least once will have a medical emergency that requires them to go to the emergency clinic and drop a lot of money. A lot of people online like to say that everyone should have a minimum of $1,000 in their bank account saved, and I do agree with this minimum. I think that $1,000 is reasonable, and the expenses go beyond just medical emergencies. Cages are relatively expensive, and you really need to make sure that you're getting them a decent cage that is not too small for them, as well as their food. Whether you're feeding a high quality kibble or the raw diet, it is relatively expensive. Along with that, if you have a ferret, you should definitely be seeing an exotic vet that has experience with ferrets, and in general, exotic vets are just more expensive than regular vets. So if you're looking for an animal that you can get on a budget, I really just don't think ferrets are one of those animals. The 5th reason why ferrets aren't super great pets is that everything in your house needs to be ferret proofed. Ferret proofing, in my opinion, is a beautiful art, but unfortunately, it is a beautiful art that not a lot of people will ever master in their lifetime, self included. Ferret proofing is an ongoing process. One day you might be like, oh, my ferrets can't get into a single thing in my house. I have done everything flawlessly, only for you to realize the next day that your ferrets can get under the fridge or into a tiny little crawl space that you did not know existed. And sometimes ferret proofing isn't pretty. Do you think I put a baby gate near my stairs for aesthetic reasons? No, I hate that thing. I have to climb over that thing like 30 times a day. And I have very short legs, but I do it to keep my babies safe. So if you're getting a ferret, make sure you are willing to sacrifice the aesthetic of your home for the safety of your pets. The next reason ferrets don't necessarily make super awesome pets is that they require quite a lot of stimulation. Although ferrets are super playful and they do love their toys, in my experience, they get bored of their toys really quickly. And it's kind of annoying. So because of that, you're probably gonna be dropping a lot of money on different toys just to make sure that they're constantly getting their exercise and they are playing, because if your ferret isn't playing and getting their exercise, then they are bored. And a bored ferret is a dangerous ferret, because a bored ferret is the ferret that chews up blankets, gets a blockage, and sends you to the emergency room. We don't want bored ferrets. And reason number 7 of why ferrets aren't super great pets is that they do require a lot of training. A lot of people might think that a ferret is a small pet, sort of like a hamster, so you don't need to train it. That's wrong. Ferrets need training. The 2 most important ones for ferrets are bite training if you have a baby ferret, and litter training. Now, some ferrets won't need either of those things. Fortunately, when I got Luna and Nova, they were both already older because I had gotten them from a rehome situation, so they didn't need to be trained not to bite because they knew not to bite. And some baby ferrets also just won't bite as much. It goes back to the personality thing, but be prepared that if you're getting a baby ferret, you are going to need to train it not to bite. And then the other big one is litter training. Some ferrets don't need litter training because they are perfect, wonderful beings and they will just naturally be like, I want to use this litter box. I'm gonna do that and never be a problem. I'm speaking particularly about Nova. Now I'm gonna speak about Luna. Luna, I love her, we know, but she is not super great with the litter box all of the time. This has pretty much always been an issue with Luna. I would say she has about a 60% accuracy rate. It's something that I've really been working on with her. I have found a lot of success simply with positive reinforcement. So when she uses the litter box, I give her a treat, and then that in her brain, she's like, wait, poop in litter box means dehydrated lamb? And then she's happy. The 8th reason I have on the bad pets list is that ferrets have extremely complicated diets. Diet is something that I spend a lot of time doing my research on and talking to other ferret owners about because there are a lot of different opinions with ferret diets, but what everyone can agree on is that ferrets need as little grain and carbs as possible. Wow, I sound like I'm repeating myself. It's almost like I talked about this a lot in my last video that you should go check out if you're curious about ferret diets and science. And they need a diet that is super high in protein. So because of this, even if you are planning to kibble feed your ferrets, there's a lot of kibbles out there that are super bad for your ferrets. And a lot of the kibbles that are specially marketed to ferrets, Marshall ferret food, are super bad for them. So if you're planning on feeding ferret kibble, I will link below a list of approved ferret kibbles, meaning that people online have all agreed that these are the good ones that you can be feeding your ferrets. Another great resource for finding out what kind of food to feed your ferret is your vet. So you can just go talk to your vet about which kibble they recommend. As we talked about a lot in my last video, and I'm gonna just briefly mention, I am super pro raw diet. I think that the raw diet is the best option for your ferrets. So if raw diet is something you're curious about, resources down below. Complicated diet sort of leads us into reason number 9, and that is that ferrets are very picky eaters. One of the main reasons why this is a problem is that, especially in North America, a lot of the times when you buy a ferret, if you're getting it from a pet store or even from a rescue or a rehome situation, a lot of them are unfortunately on Marshall's kibble, which is not very good for ferrets, as we have discussed. So because of that, you are going to have to switch their diet. And sometimes switching a ferret's diet is super painful and a really long process. Even if you're just switching to a different type of kibble brand, it can take months to get your ferrets fully onto a different brand of kibble. Now, it is my personal belief that it is never impossible to switch a ferret's diet. It is harder to switch certain ferrets. Some ferrets are going to be more picky, but I don't think that that means it's impossible. I think that it just means that you're going to have to do a lot more work and be a lot more patient, which is hard sometimes. I totally get it. Luna and Nova switched from kibble to raw about 4 months ago, and they still struggle with it sometimes. Sometimes I still have to spoon feed them because they prefer to eat in my lap than on the floor. It's just a testament to how picky they can be about that. And the 10th reason why I think ferrets don't make super good pets, and I think it is actually the most important thing to know about ferrets, is that ferrets are little shits. Ferrets are huge troublemakers. They are super curious. They love to do things that they shouldn't do. Especially if you really don't want them to do something, it will become their biggest goal in life to do exactly that thing. I think that Luna, much like me, lives entirely on spite, so she loves to just make me angry. Luna really likes to do this thing with her litter box. Since we have been using positive reinforcement training with her and she realized that pooping in litter box equals treat, she likes to pretend that she's pooping in her litter box, especially if she knows I'm watching. So if I'm just sitting here, drinking my coffee, having a good time, I'll look over to the litter box. She'll be dead looking me in the eyes, and she will be pooping, but she's not actually pooping, she's pretending to poop, and then she'll get off the litter box. She'll even do the little butt scuttle thing that any ferret owner knows that they do, and then she'll look at me with these eyes that say, "Mom, where's my treat?" So if you are planning to get a ferret, please be aware that you're gonna have to be monitoring them a lot, especially when they're babies and you're still sort of trying to figure out the ferret proofing thing because, like I said, none of us actually know what's going on. We just get a lot of duct tape and try. That has been 10 reasons why I think ferrets make good and bad pets. Hopefully, if you are a prospective ferret owner and you watched this video, you can have a better understanding on what it means to be a ferret owner, and maybe it helped you decide on whether or not you want ferrets. Of course, I'm very pro people owning ferrets because ferrets are great, but you just gotta make sure that they fit into your lifestyle. I don't really know what else I have to say besides the things that I just said to you. Well, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you all have a really great, wonderful, fun day, and I hope everyone out there is staying safe and trying to make sure that they're doing their social distancing and keeping it together, because every day is sort of a struggle. but we're all struggling together. What's humanity more about than just all of us struggling? That's what it means to be human. We're all dying inside. I just turned 24. Happy birthday!